We are here with Josh Ford, the UConn goalkeeper, and he's here so we can ask him some exclusive questions just for you. So, Josh, I don't know. Why don't you just start off by telling us about what this season? I mean, you had some pretty big goals going into it, and then how the season progressed. You did very well, and just talk about the season in general.
Well, personally, I thought, in the beginning, we're doing really well. Our freshman Mamadou was getting a lot of goals, making a tear up on the offense with, his supporting cast of Carlos and Jope and Cassio. And I thought the defense was doing really well. We were a pretty sound team in the beginning of the year. And as time went on, I think, some players progressed a lot. Outside mids did really well in the middle of the year. And, teams got a little bit harder, and they started to, we didn't score as many goals as we need to. And, at the end of the season, which is now, it hurts we didn't make it as far as we wanted to, but, I'm still proud of my teammates because, they're my teammates, and I enjoyed playing with them this year.
Yeah, well, it was a fascinating year for everyone to watch, especially with you guys went undefeated for a really long time, and I think the first loss was Maryland. Right, that was a pretty big, hard hit.
Yeah, well, we were undefeated at home, which is always a plus. It means you take care of your business when you're at home. And our first loss was at Maryland. And, they're a really good team. They're a top-tier team. And, we played all right. But, I think we could always improve. There's always room for improvement. And the only time there's not room for improvement is when you win the national championship.
Yeah.
So I
not
guess,
there yet.
I guess not there yet. But, I think the guys coming up soon, on this year and the following years, they'll be putting Connecticut on the map and probably be getting to a Final Four.
Well, I hope so. I think another, from what I saw, I think another speed bump was the Notre Dame game, that tie, right before the Big East tournament. You guys were looking to win the Big East with points and whatever, and then that tie kind of bumped you back.
Well, it wasn't the outcome we wanted, but I think there were a few other teams that we played that we should have, jumped on and maybe put them away. And towards the end of the season, it was still up to us to where we had the control of beating teams, and if we beat them, then we would have won the league. But, we weren't really concerned about, getting the ring for the Big East League. We were more concerned about the end finish, which we quite didn't achieve. But, I think we put the guys, the senior class, we put the guys in a good place for the upcoming year. Hopefully the guys that are playing now will realize what they need to do. And, hopefully their maturity will grow from the spring and into the summer and then starting with the preseason in the fall. And I wish them the best of luck.
Yeah. So this season, you guys were as high as number 3. I mean, how does a team deal with that type of pump up? 3 in the nation. That's a pretty.
Well, it's always good to be recognized as a really good team, and in 2007, we were same thing. We were up there high. We were number 1, I believe, at one point, and it's always good to see that you're up there. But on the downside, it always means that teams are gunning for you, and sometimes it's easy to be going up the scale than it is to stay at the high pinnacle part of the season. And staying at the top 5 or top 4. And, a few slip-ups here and there, that can bring you down to about 7, 8, and then one or two, teams that aren't really that well that can bring you down farther. But it's always kind of easy to get up there, just staying there, so the problem. But it's okay, those challenges help you out later on in the season. So
Absolutely, and I really think that a huge part of the team doing so well was your performance in general. You left 7 goals on the season. That's all you led by. I mean, you couldn't even. Some goalies can't even fathom that type of a number. And then on top of it, you broke UConn. I think it was saves. You tied. Was it saves?
I don't think saves. It was.
What was
I think
it?
it was
You
starts.
tied something pretty big. Oh, well, you had the start thing, but your saves were pretty close up there. I mean, you had an unbelievable redshirt senior season. So, how does that make you feel leaving UConn after having that type of an impact here?
Well, it makes me feel pretty good, It's always nice to have some records set, but it was really a good time to be, playing, and I think it was, really nice to have, a lot of the time, sometimes it's the defense that helps me out a lot more than me making saves. And, I give a lot of credit to those guys, and sometimes they don't get any credit, because at the end of the day, sometimes it just says goalkeeper with this stat and other people with this stat. And, it's a real group effort. I really couldn't have got anywhere without my teammates. And, I was blessed to have some great defenders and some guys that really wanted to work hard. So it's kind of fantastic to have those single awards. And, and I give a lot of credit to my teammates and the coaching staff. They gave me a lot of time and effort, and I was happy to repay them back with, 4 or 5 years here, and, becoming a good leader and a good player.
Well, I'm pretty sure that defense was pretty assured with you behind them, because some of those saves, I mean, I don't know, they were just incredible. You had a great season. And now looking forward for you, where do you want to go? What's next?
Well, I plan on playing after school. Working real hard right now to make sure that happens. Hopefully I get called down for the MLS Combine in Fort Lauderdale and hopefully make an impact down there. And we'll see what happens from there. So hopefully team calls and says, hey, we want you to play. And I'll be willing to go there right away and, hopefully make an impact and work hard to have another great life of playing soccer.
Well, I hope that for you, and I'm sure it will happen because, I mean, really, what you've done at UConn, especially as a goalie, I mean, I think almost every week you were recognized for your goalkeeping skills. And it was kind of on the back burner in a sense with like these underlying stories because Tony Castillo and Carlos Alvarez had such huge seasons. And you kind of got pushed a little behind them because they were younger, but every single week I saw your name and you were totally recognized in the soccer community for everything that you had done. So, I mean, I don't know what that means, but I think it's pretty good.
Thank you.
So now, looking at the team that now you're leaving, what do you hope for them? What do you see in their future? What are these guys capable of?
Well, they're going to be young in certain areas, but I think their attack's going to be really good. Hopefully this upcoming year when they get into the fall, they'll be, be more offensive-minded, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And they'll be making a deeper run than we did this year. And hopefully some of the guys, they perform as they did this year, but even better. And the younger guys that are here now, they'll enjoy the spring with coaching and, getting up early. But, they'll make a big impact, like Andrew Jean-Baptiste and, one of the other guys, Ricardo Blake on the back line. He's going to do great. He's going to have the whole spring to get the whole system down. And I think those guys are going to be phenomenal. It all depends on what happens in the fall, but sky's the limit with that team. They have great guys coming back, and the coaching staff does pretty well with them. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So, well, I hope all the best of luck to you. All the best to them next year. And that's it for today with our interview with goalkeeper Josh Ford.